once again, everyone, and welcome to the Sanctuary. I'm your host, Cruznik X, aka Chris Valentine. Alongside me for the ride are Arya Stormborn.
Hello.
Lord Fireaxe. And Corlash.
Hello.
Before we start anything else, I just want to give a special shout out to Corlash because at the time of this recording, it is his birthday.
Aw, I didn't know you were gonna embarrass the guy.
I would give him birthday punches, but we live too far away.
Pretty sure he'd punch you back.
He probably would.
Definitely would.
Okay. Anyways, once again, we're playing Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail and continuing the tank role quest line. Last episode, we finally were able to wake up Tentoawa thanks to the help of Loaz and Nikwe, who just happened to show up in Ishgard. Shit, I'm drawing a blank at... Well, basically, we're still trying to get the Cradle of the Narwhal... the Cradle of the Sleepless back, and the person who has it is slowly but surely realizing its full potential. Knowing that we can't let that happen, well, we've got a lot of work on our plate. Anyways, the last 4 episodes, we have shown off all the tanks, so we're opening up the Wheel of Tanks again to see what tank we are going to roll with on this quest. Let's take a look-see. Looks like we're rolling with Dark Knight tonight, or at least in this episode. That's fine. At least I changed the glamour last episode, so... Well, with that being said, let's get right down to it with the next quest in our journey, Awakened, Not Stirred. You're looking strong, Chris. While I'm not my old self yet, I'm feeling better by the day. Still, there's much work to be done. I need to be even better than I was before if we're to have any hope of catching Leofine. I wonder what she's plotting with the rest of her cohorts. We know they aim to topple nations around the world, but this is an odd way to go about it, don't you think? Why haven't our misdeeds in Ishgard extended any farther than the Temple Knights? We've pondered that same question. Our best guess was that as a former Temple Knight herself, she chose them because she knows how to exploit their weaknesses. She's using her knowledge as her weapon, and we need to equip ourselves likewise. If we can learn more about her, we might be able to anticipate her next move. A good plan, but I admit I have no idea where to start. Should we ask Fimalbar? I already have. He said that while he never knew her personally, the knights in her old squadron might be able to shed light onto her past. Some of them even now patrol the city, and Firmabear was a great help in telling me where they might be. You've been busy, Loaz and Nikwe. Well, I can't remember the last time I was awake this long. I didn't want to sit around until I got tired again. And we're all the better for it. Since you've gathered the information, it's only fitting I should do the legwork. Just tell me where these knights are and I'll speak with them. Gladly, but Ishgard is still an unfamiliar city to the both of us, right? Although Fimalbear told me where to go, the names of these places mean nothing to me. Luckily, we have Chris to guide you. You'll go with Tentoawa, won't you? Well, I certainly have no choice. I knew we could count on you. All right, take note of these locations. Alright, where are we? Tentoawa? Being forced to work with someone like Leofine isn't a fate I would envy. I'm curious to hear what these knights have to say about her. Hopefully they provide insight that'll help guide us forward. Time is of the essence, Chris. Let's get moving. All right, escort quests. All right. All right, we'll start at the congregation, then go to Aetheryte Plaza, and then finish up at St. Rainette's Forum. So first, the congregation. Looks like we're going up the stairs. Yep. Now this is a rare privilege. What business could the savior of Ishgard have with a humble knight? You want to know about Leofine? Well, many temple knights come from common stock, but she was different. Despite what she became, Leofine was born of noble blood. Even so, she often made mock of Ishgard's customs and the responsibilities that bound the conduct of noble families. Doubtless she yearned for freedom all her life. Or her idea of it, anyways. Though her deeds caused her to be expelled from the Temple Knights and summarily stripped of her title, she may have actually desired that outcome. If she hated it so much here, all she had to do was leave. I hear she did leave. Part time, at least. Now she's in league with a group that aims to plunge the world into chaos. If a selfish heart like Leofine was sought out to aid in this plot, I shudder to imagine how wicked their leader must be. I'm honestly surprised they went with every even level for the role quest this time around.
At this point, nothing's.
Alright, Keen-Eyed Temple Knight. Do you require aid? I must keep watch, so forgive me if I don't engage in idle chit-chat. Leofine. For her, I can spare a moment. I don't suppose you know why she was expelled from the Temple Knights, do you? Well, few were her equal in swordplay, and fewer still handled their mounts with such grace. She oft spent her nights carousing in the gambling halls. It was after just such a night that she fell asleep while on duty. Some may call it a cruel twist of fate. But dragons attacked her charges as she slept, and they were left defenseless. In her negligence, she was deemed to have aided our ancestral foe, and thus was stripped of her knighthood and noble title both. Knights falling asleep on duty? Story that's become all too familiar. Given what happened, I've no doubt she came to fear sleep. And now she has conquered that weakness, and she wields it as a weapon against us. She may even believe herself to be beyond reach of mortal danger. Yet she's only deluding herself, and in time she'll be made to answer for her deeds. Talking point. And what are we talking about? Oh, the statue of Saint Rainette. I've heard that the people of Ishgard revere a warrior god, but here is a statue of a flesh and blood knight. I've never seen such a thing. My people make no figures or depictions of our departed, fearing that such objects would keep them from finding their way to the next world. The only idol we keep is the cradle of the sleepless. And thanks to its blessings, a wide eye has always watched over us. So our reverence is devoted solely to the narwhal. It's enough that it guides our people safely to the next sunrise. All is quiet. Even so, I must remain vigilant. Leofine, eh? A name spoken of in hushed whispers now. But many have forgotten her strategic genius. She had a singular talent for achieving victory in battle by whatever means necessary. Genius? Maybe we were just too dense to see how her actions would cause Ishgard to collapse. Given that her group seems relatively few in number, an assault on Ishgard is unlikely. Rather, I think her aim is to chip away at the people's trust in Ishgard's foundation, and by the absence of a few vital bricks, bring the whole nation tumbling down. The thought gives me worry. Even now, representatives from Ishgard are preparing to visit Oxundu in the Sea of Clouds. If anything else were to go wrong, it would be a grievous blow to Ishgard's reputation. As we saw at Falcon's Nest, certain elements that oppose our nation see friendly gestures as a chance to spark conflict. Given recent developments, Sir Handaloop has been debating whether the visit is a wise choice. Well, we have a general understanding of what drives our adversary. Stories that paint a picture of a rotten, conniving soul. We know enough to guess her next move. You're right. Whatever her ultimate goal may be, it's clear she has an almost blinding focus on shaming the Temple Knights. And this... what did he call it? A delegation? May provide an irresistible opportunity. Finally, we have knowledge to use against our enemy. If we all work together, we might be able to trap her. We haven't much time. Let's return to the congregation and tell this Handaloop what we know. Now, the main question is, can I use the Ethernet? Yep. I keep forgetting that that's actually a thing now. Handaloop. You are ever welcome at the congregation, Chris. I am well apprised of Leofine's wicked deeds, and your efforts to flush her out have been much appreciated. And this must be Master Tentoawa, who crossed the ocean from Taral. I hope you have recovered from your ordeal. I'm better than ever. Apologies for taking up one of your beds for so long. Please, no apologies are necessary. On the contrary, the Temple Knights yet owe you a debt for all you have done. Which brings us to the purpose of this visit. You had something to discuss with me? I see you and I had the same doubts. The delegation to Oxundu would be an obvious target for Leofine. I was but recently debating the wisdom of moving forward with our plans. As you know, all of Ishgard falls under the protection of the Temple Knights. As such, 'tis only meet that we maintain and strengthen friendly relations with our neighbors. The delegation in question is tasked with deepening mutual understanding of each of our unique cultures. Sonuvanu, chief of the Zundu, was most eager to host. Yet so long as the specter of Leofine hangs over our order, I fear visits abroad are unwise. Should any of the Vanu come to harm, our relations could be damaged irreparably. As we have no way of knowing if Leofine has caught wind of our plans, I am of the mind that postponing the delegation may be the most prudent course of action for the safety of all. This could also be the perfect chance to draw her out. That's right. Chris and I won't let anyone come to harm. And as long as you warn the Vanu Vanu in advance, they shouldn't hold the actions of a rogue against you. If they're truly your allies, they'll see the wisdom in your judgment. Please, send the delegation as planned. It'll be our best chance to capture Leofine. Yes, your words have merit. Thank you for your sage counsel. You are right. The Zundu would not stand idly by while we suffer at Leofine's hand. In fact, the fellowship between our two peoples was forged when a god assailed their home and was brought low by a great hero, Chris. If we tell the Zundu that he is keeping watch over the proceedings, then I am certain all doubts shall be quelled. Then you'll proceed? Indeed. The time has come for we Temple Knights to reclaim our honor and go on the counteroffensive. I shall bring the suggestion of a joint operation against Leofine to the Lord Commander as soon as possible. Thank you. Together we'll put a stop to her scheme. I first must discuss matters with the others involved before we present a plan to the Lord Commander. Although time is of the essence, I ask that you wait a while until our course is settled. Well, this is gonna be fun. Alright, Tentoawa. I realize now that I agreed to defend a people I know next to nothing about. Tell me of these Zundu we'll soon be visiting. They're like the Hanu Hanu, with even more of a penchant for metaphor. Really? Two groups of such people so far apart? The world really is full of surprises. Even a single city is enough for a lifetime. Every day I hear something that gives me food for thought. Like the story of the Dragon Song War, for instance. Generations of animosity between dragon and man that somehow ended in a rekindled fellowship. I imagine a whole world like that. A world where there'd be no need for protectors. The wide eye watches not only the monsters in the wilderness, but our neighbors as well. We've barely even considered sending delegations outside our village's gates. And the cold snap only made things worse. With everyone struggling just to survive, our every thought goes towards defending our scarce resources. But if we only look outward with wariness, there's no hope for the future to change. No hope to build trust. If only there was a way to bridge the distance between us and greet tomorrow hand in hand. But maybe that's just a silly dream. Maybe. Either way, it's a beautiful thought. I'm glad you think so. I'll hold that future in mind as I get back to training. As for you, Chris, get some rest. If you fall asleep when I need you most, I'll wake you up with a knock to the head. The final quest in our tank role quest line will be the level 100 quest, Dreams of a New Day. But for now, we're going to take a quick break. If you're watching on Twitch, stay tuned for more. If you're watching on YouTube, here are the links provided. See you in a bit.